Gonna launch off my drive, but was gonna go on Facebook and make this video, but I figure I don't go live. All right, here we're back. Jeez, oh Pete, I had to disconnect that stream for some reason. Anyhow, connected out of the Wi-Fi. So I'm at this O'Reilly Auto Parts and trying to pick up some transmission fluid for my Volkswagen. Okay, so the Volkswagen doesn't have a dipstick. You can't check your fluids on a regular basis like you normally would with like oil. And I think a lot of these cars nowadays suffer from the same type of a setup where they just don't have, dipsticks. You got to rely on technology and sensors to tell you if you're low on fluid. But man, I tell you what, when your transmission starts slipping, like that's one of those just telltale signs of like, hey, you're low on fluid, pal. So went through a year and a half worth of automotive trade school to tell me that type of a stuff. Plus I've blown up some transmissions in my day, so I know what it's like. So yeah, that's what happened. I got a situation where I've got a leak in my trans. Car's got 200,000 miles on it. I'm milking it for all it's worth and low on trans fluid. So got to pick some up at this O'Reilly's Auto Parts, and it's tough finding the right stuff. Okay, like the regular Valvoline multi, import fluid. That's not it. That is not the one you need to pick. However, the Valvoline synthetic stuff that I ended up picking up, it was a Max Life, fully synthetic. It doesn't say on the back of the bottle that the transmission fluid is correct, but I will tell you that when you do a little bit more of a deep dive on the Valvoline website, that is the correct fluid to use. So that's what I did. I ended up getting my hands on, and hey, real quick, thank you everybody that's joining us today. Real quick recap, I'm going through some transmission issues on a Volkswagen, and I'm telling a story about a return that I had to make. And so here's what happens. I go to return this fluid that's not the right fit at this O'Reilly Auto Parts, and there's a lady who I recognize is newer in the business. She's over there, and I'm like, look, I don't have my receipt. I have my card. Bumpy Jeep. I have my card that I purchased the fluid on, but I just don't, I don't want receipts. I don't keep that stuff. So what ended up happening was she's like, no, it's company policy. I can't return it. I'm like, what are you talking about? Right? If regular stores can just, because I didn't use my phone number. I didn't use my O'Reilly rewards to go ahead and, make this purchase. It was straight up with my credit card. You're telling me that you can't go back through your records and search? And she's like, nope, and it's against our company policy. We can't do that. Okay, sometimes you got to walk away from a situation. Sometimes you got to walk away from somebody that doesn't know what they're talking about. Do I want to sit there and pick a fight with somebody, like lower my standards and eat ketchup because somebody doesn't, it's all they got, and I don't like ketchup, so I'm going to eat the ketchup? Anyhow, here's what this girl does. I said, what's that guy's name over there? Oh, he's the assistant manager. His name's so-and-so. I'm like, cool. I'm going to wait for him. That's what I'm going to do. Because experience tells me you got to be bold enough and stand up for what you got to get done, right? And that's what I did. So go over to this guy, and he's like, yeah, no problem, man. I can get that done. Perfect. That's exactly what I'm looking here. So that's what we did. I got my money back, and I said, hey, respectfully, let her know what's going on. Train this girl up so she's not giving out stupid information and causing fights and ticking people off, because that's just not the way to do business. So, but a thought came to my mind. I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, you, just because you got the need to feel right, okay? Like treat yourself like Henry Ford, right? If you don't know the answer to something, go get it. Go find that answer somewhere, okay? Rather than just sitting there and like you know everything, because you don't. I don't. You don't. And the bottom line is just don't be that person, because that's going to make that shows us, the rest of the population, that you're going to be stuck telling people no, and people are going to go around you, and that's it. All right, you are not the winner in this situation. Now, I'm thankful for the opportunity to get my money back. What was I going to do with this fluid? And I certainly didn't want to store credit. I did not want to store credit, and that's where we're at. So, by the way, those 2014 Volkswagens, they don't have dipstick. Like any of you viewers out there, you got a car without a dipstick? I don't. I got one, but it's got an oil dipstick, so I can check that and tell when I'm low, because those Volkswagens, they like to eat fluid. So that's our life. That's what's happening. Driving into the sun right now. Heading back to O'Reilly's to buy some trans fluid. Catch you guys in the next video. Thanks for joining today.